Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. We are back with this week's Read Aloud, Kitty and the Moonlight Rescue. Today I am moving on to chapter 4. Yesterday we left off with Kitty being brave enough and overcoming her fear to climb the clock tower and save the kitten who's stuck on the ledge. So today we find out if she makes it and rescues the kitten. Chapter 4. Kitty climbed the clock tower swiftly, digging her fingers into the gaps between the smooth stones. "You can do it," Pixie cried. The steep drop below was filled with darkness, but moonlight poured over the tower, turning the stones silver. Kitty felt her superpowers rushing through her, and her heart skipped. Maybe she could be a superhero like her mom, after all. Pulling herself onto the ledge, she stopped for a second to catch her breath. The ginger kitten peered down at her with wide eyes. There was a sudden click as the big hand on the clock moved closer to the 12, and the kitten jumped with fright. Kitty's chest tightened. It was such a long way down. It says here that the kitten peered. We've been talking about how words that authors use can help us really understand this story. So think about the difference between the kitten looking down and peering down, right? So right now I'm looking at you, but if I was the kitten and I was peering over the ledge, so let's pretend this is the ledge, right? I'm peering over. A lot of times when you're peering over, you feel a little nervous. I think this kitten's probably pretty nervous. She climbed faster, her arms and legs tingling. She could hear the ticking of the clock. With a loud click, the big hand shifted to point straight at the number 12. It was midnight. "Don't be scared," called Kitty. "The clock is about to chime." The kitten shook as he gripped the ledge. "What's a chime?" Boom! The clock made a deep sound. It was so loud that the whole tower trembled. Kitty held on tightly. The tiny ginger cat jumped in fright, then toppled backward, tumbling down the clock face with a terrified mew. "No!" Kitty shouted. The kitten clutched at the clock's long hand and clung to it desperately. You could see Kitty falling. The hand slid back to point at the number 11. The kitten hung there. He wailed while his legs swung wildly in midair. "Don't let go! I'll come to get you!" Kitty's powers tingled and she climbed faster. She had to reach the kitten in time. Kitty scrambled down. 10, 11, 12. Just as the last chime rang out, a strong gust of wind swirled around the tower. The ginger kitten swayed wildly, and he lost his grip with one paw. I hope you're visualizing right now because there aren't any pictures on the page. So hopefully you're seeing in your mind exactly what's going on. Kitty's heart pounded. She couldn't let him fall. "We believe in you, Kitty!" Figaro shouted from below. "Go on, Kitty," Katsumi called out. "You can do it." Pixie jumped up and down, one paw over her mouth. Kitty stepped onto the ledge below the clock face. The ginger kitten was still dangling from the clock hand, and there was no easy way to reach him. Kitty took a deep breath and climbed. Whoa, check this out. Is that what you were imagining? Kitty took a deep breath and climbed onto the closest number, her black cape billowing out in the wind. Using her superpowers to balance, she clambered from one number to the next and steadied herself. Clambered is kind of a fancy way of saying climbed, but you're usually not very skilled. So you're kind of like messy climbing, clamber. She clambered from one number to the next and steadied herself. She was just below the kitten. His back paws dangled above her head. "I'm here to rescue you," she told him. "Reach down and take my hand." The kitten's legs swung. "I can't. I'm stuck." "You've been so brave," said Kitty. "I promise I won't let you fall." The kitten gazed at Kitty with terrified blue eyes. "I can't move." "Be brave," urged Kitty. "I know you can do it." The kitten's whiskers quivered, and he reached down, letting Kitty grab hold of his paw. He let go of the clock hand, and Kitty caught him and pulled him close. She could feel his body shaking. The wind swirled around them, and Kitty held tight to the clock face. There was still a long way to go before they reached safety. Remember how we talked about being brave to go up was one thing, but now they've got to get down. Hold on to my shoulders, Kitty told the little cat. Then I'll have my hands free to climb. The kitten scrambled onto her shoulders. Kitty made her way down the tower, careful to keep her balance. The kitten clung to her neck as he peered anxiously at the ground. It's too far, he squeaked. We'll never make it. We will, Kitty told him. Can you see my friends on that rooftop over there? Soon you'll be able to meet them. The kitten looked at the rooftop, his whiskers twitching. Kitty kept climbing, but the kitten clutched at her face, covering her eyes with his paws. Kitty didn't want to worry him, so instead she used her super-powered senses. She felt along the tower wall for every foothold and handhold, balancing perfectly. She could hear Figaro and Katsumi talking, so she knew exactly where she was going. At last they reached the wide ledge where she had begun her climb. Are you ready? Kitty asked the ginger cat. I'm going to jump across. You mean all the way over there? He squeaked, staring at the gap between the clock tower and the rooftop. It's too far. We'll both fall. Don't worry. I've done this before. Kitty smiled, and I have superpowers that help me. The kitten's eyes grew big and round. Then you're a real superhero? I'm still learning, said Kitty, and this is my very first adventure. The little cat gazed at her solemnly. Seriously. I trust you. I will hold tight while you jump. Kitty got ready, bending her knees and throwing back her arms, and then she made an enormous leap. Her black cape swirled out behind her, and for a moment, Kitty felt as though she was flying through the sky. She landed softly on the other side and set the kitten down on the rooftop. Here she is. Figaro, Katsumi, and Pixie rushed over to meet them, mewing with excitement. That was such a daring rescue, gasped Pixie. Were you scared, Kitty? A little bit, Kitty admitted, but I knew all of you believed in me, and that helped a lot. You certainly have great climbing skills, said Katsumi. Don't you agree, Figaro? Yes, indeed. Figaro twirled his whiskers, but I do think it was very silly of this kitten to be up so high in the first place. He turned to the kitten. What in pa's name were you doing up there? The little cat's nose twitched, and a tear rolled down his furry cheek. I was searching for somewhere warm to sleep. I thought if I climbed up high, it would be easier to look. There they all are. But then I realized, gotta turn the page, I was too high and I couldn't get down. Kitty crouched beside him. Please don't cry. What's your name? Do you have any family or friends nearby who can look after you? The kitten shook his head. I don't have any family or friends. I don't have a name either. Kitty was surprised. How could this lovely kitten not even have a name? We'd love to be your friends if you'd like that. She looked at the other cats, and they nodded in agreement. The kitten wiped a tear away with his paw, and a smile spread across his face. I'd like that more than anything in the world. And that is the end of Chapter 4. Tomorrow, we will continue on to Chapter 5. I wonder if the little kitten will become part of someone's family. Sounds like she definitely has some new friends. So we'll find out what happens tomorrow. Be thinking and making some predictions. See you tomorrow.